All right, all right. Hey there, everybody. Make sure you can let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Okay, I was setting up some different gear and such, and making sure everything's copacetic for our YouTube live tonight. So thank you for showing up, and just let me know in the chat that you guys can hear me. Okay, everything's all good, and if not, I'll make some adjustments as we go. Since this is the first YouTube live non-investigation that I'm doing for Periphery Paranormal. So maybe bear with me just a little bit. Make sure we're A-OK. I want to make sure you guys have a good experience. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Just give me a yes or a no, and I'll try to make adjustments if I need to. It looks like everything on my end is going well, and hopefully it is on yours as well. All right. So if you're just popping in, I put a question up there for a Q&A about feel free to ask me anything that you want regarding the paranormal or my philosophy around it, and I'll be glad to answer that right here on the live as we kind of go through a couple of things that this channel is going to be all about. Well, first I'll say hi to a few people. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Betty. Thanks for showing up. Let me know too. I'm very curious how where are you? Where are you in the world or in the US or wherever you're at? Let me know where you're at. I would love to know where you're coming from and where you're watching from, just to give me kind of a sense of that, and time stamps and time scales and all that stuff. Betty, where are you from? Let me know in the chat. Would love it. And if you can't hear me, let me know. I think we're doing okay. I'll have Shauna over here test it real quick. Can you jump on the stream on your phone just to make sure? Since we're newbies to the whole YouTube thing. I've been doing investigations for a very long time, but finally just decided I'm going to jump in and do this more on the YouTube and make it more official, I guess you can call it. So I want to make sure all the tech stuff is working smoothly. Well, I guess Betty did hear me, so good. Virginia. So you're East Coast time. Cool. I'm in California. I think Patrick may have said that on the live streams this last week that we did that. And yeah, I'm in California, actually in Southern California, and I went up to see him in Northern Nevada, and we're all in the same time zone, so it was easy for us. Hey, so Shauna, is that it's all good? Yeah. Cool. So I'm speaking to my partner over here, Shauna. I don't know if she's ready to come over here and say hello, but Shauna and I are what make up Periphery Paranormal, plus a few other friends and colleagues who you saw one of them. Mark, here's Shauna right here. Yay. So she's going to be out doing most of the investigations with me, in California and basically the Pacific Northwest. And we'll go across country as well, but we'll get to that in a bit. So I put the question up there about asking me about anything about paranormal, and Betty has a good question here. She says, "Have you gotten so scared that you leave an investigation?" And the answer would be no. I don't get freaked out like that. And I asked Shauna too right before we went live, and she's not freaky deaky like that either. So
no, not yet, anyway.
yeah, not yet. I'm not saying it will never happen, but not yet. So there's been, and we've done a couple of investigations already together as Periphery. And I guess the biggest one was the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri. And I don't know if it was an off night or whatever it was, but we both, as you put it, slept like a baby. Because there was not a whole lot going on. I mean, we had some voices, we had some knocks, had some creaks, had some things like that, but it was not like anything bothering us or making us all widgety.
Yeah, and we were the only ones in there.
That's true. We were there. That's true. There was nobody else there. Like, nobody else was in the rooms. We had the whole place to ourselves, and really, They didn't come out to play really that much, or at least we didn't detect it with any of our equipment, or really not any much of our with our bodies either. I wasn't really feeling much, except for it sometimes when we were at the table and we were doing spirit box and stuff like that. Remember we were
They
doing?
were kind of vocal.
They were a bit vocal. They weren't very. Sounded like they were like talking to us from across the room. They weren't really getting too close to us. So I don't know if that was just because unfamiliarity, or maybe we stink or something. So that's a good question. Thank you. If there's, yeah, well, she doesn't think she does. Yeah. So Sean and I are going to be doing lots of investigations as Periphery Paranormal, and from some time to time we'll be partnering with other investigation groups like Patrick and the Haunted Side to do joint ventures and joint investigations to bring you stuff, to like those live streams and such. Hey, Chris. So Chris is asking, totally unrelated, has anyone ever told you, Dan, that you look like Tim Robbins? No, but thank you. Okay, I'll take it. Sure. I'll take it. I don't think I'm as tall as Tim Robbins. I think Tim Robbins is 6'9" or something like that. So I'm slightly shorter, but maybe a little bit in the face. I got some Tim Robbins going. Trust me, I don't want to go to Shawshank and spend any time there. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? I won't be typing because I'm so sick. Oh, I saw your post regarding getting COVID and all that stuff. So sorry about that. That's just nasty stuff. So you that's all right. You don't have to type too much. Just hang with us. Be cool with us. If you want to ask a question, feel free to ask me a question. I am going to share some stuff that we're up to. I don't know why my nose is starting to itch all of a sudden. Maybe I'm allergic to you. I'm allergic to Shauna. Oh well. Chris says that's totally a good thing though, looking like Tim Robbins. Okay, I'll take it. Wasn't totally intended, and nobody's ever said that to me until right now. So I appreciate that. Thank you. But back to our paranormal talk here. Yeah, we've never run out of any investigation. I don't plan to. I mean, I guess if the situation was like in the right, everything aligned, that might happen. But I'm not one to scare very easily, and I'm not one to, I don't know, get certain things don't get under my skin like that, especially the paranormal and spiritual stuff. And Shauna should know. She's seen me in action several times. Betty says hi to Aaron, and say hi to Shauna too if you don't. So this is Shauna. I'm saying Shauna, but this is Shauna. Those of you who are coming in late, this is Shauna and I are Periphery Paranormal, and sometimes Mark comes out to help me if I'm doing stuff up north in Northern California or Northern Nevada. With Patrick, that was an easy trip over the Sierra Nevadas. So, and Shauna had to obviously stay in SoCal and do all the normal duties and responsibilities that she has, and couldn't come with me. But that won't always be the case. Speaking of that, just to give you a little heads up, she and I are going to be doing we're going to go film an episode, not live, but we're going to be actually having a full-length episode of Joshua Tree come this weekend. So we're going to be talking to the spirits that roam there. I don't know if you don't know about Joshua Tree National Park. It's in Southern California. It's on the way to, or like right north above Palm Springs, California. And so we're going to be going out there and doing a 360 investigation out there with the tarot, with everything that I normally do, with all the cool lights and all that fun stuff too. And it's going to be not live though. It's going to be a full featured episode that will air shortly after that. So that should be fun. Chris asks, what has been your weirdest personal paranormal experience? Wow, that's a good one. I've had many. You want to start with that one, and I'll figure out which one I'm going to tell. What is yours? Do you have one?
I don't think I have like a specific one.
That's the weirdest? Okay. All right. We'll come back to you too. I think mine was like I was part of a team during an exorcism. That was probably the weirdest, freakiest, and downright made me kind of like question everything kind of a moment or moments. It went on for a couple hours. So that was pretty intense. That was a very long time ago. Never been involved with anything like that since. Thank God. I don't plan on doing that anymore. But I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Maybe it's the wrong place at the right time. I don't know. But I was there to assist in this exorcism, and so I participated in that component. So that was a little odd, little weird. Wasn't prepared for it, and I wasn't prepared for the aftermath. But yeah, that kind of like catapulted me, like realized that yeah, this stuff is real. There's definitely forces at work that we can't see in this physical space. Let's see here. That's anybody else have any questions regarding before I get into some of the things that we're going to be doing with Periphery Paranormal? An actual Catholic exorcism. Yes, an actual Catholic exorcism. I was there to hold the subject down, or be one of the people that helped hold the subject down. And because of my size, because of the leverage I could ensue, I was a good candidate. I just happened to be at the. I won't go into all the details of that, but it was because I don't want to, shed light on anybody's privacy or things like that. But yeah, it was a weird experience. I wasn't planning on it. It's not like I went to an exorcism today. Field trip, but it just kind of happened. And yeah, I can't say I was glad I was there. I do say the experience after the fact, I'm glad I went through it, but I wouldn't choose it if that makes sense. So thanks for asking that. So guys, I said in my description that we're going to talk a little bit about like some of my philosophy around ghost hunting and around just paranormal in general. And so let me share some of that. I'm a big believer in, the scientific method. And I know a lot of ghost hunters are too, or they claim to be that way. I have worked with a lot of other ghost hunters beyond Patrick who really aren't that. They're into the sensationalism component of it. And I'm not into that. I really want evidence and not contrived evidence. And I don't want it to have the naysayers saying, oh, well, you did this, you did that, the next thing. So one of the reasons why I chose to go 360 with the cameras is because you can see everything that we're doing if you want. Everything that I'm doing, everything that my team's doing, what devices we have in our hands, that type of thing. And as we do full episodes, as you will see, there will be embedded two-dimensional image or video within the 3D space too. Like if I'm looking at I have a camera shooting my EMF reader or whatever else, you'll be able to see that in the 360 up close and personal. So that will be cool as well. That's something we can't do live, can only do in a produced episode. So I'm a big believer in not having the environment be contrived. And I want everybody who is watching, whether it's pre-recorded or it's live, to be able to know what's going on at all times and be able to see wherever they want to see. Hence the lights. And it's pretty too. I like creating art. Let's see, you got another. Chris says, that's not something a lot of people can say, so that's pretty cool. Oh, well, about the exorcism? Yeah, I guess you can say it's cool. Like I said, I wouldn't do it again. If I was asked to do it today, I would say no. It's just, it opens you up to a side of things that I don't want to be exposed to all the time. That evil, malevolent energy, that's not something I want to be exposed to all the time. I will be exposed to it if I have to protect someone, to protect myself, to do something that's positive, but not because I'm just going to go after a thrill. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm hoping with the 360 cameras and all of that, I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you for all the views and all the likes to the the 3 lives I did with Patrick. That was pretty awesome. You guys showed up in force. I'm going to be getting Patrick one of his own 360 cameras, so he'll be able to use it on his own investigations because of all those great and awesome likes and views and all that good stuff. So you guys helped me so I can help Patrick. So that's awesome too. Also, I guess you guys probably subscribe to other channels too, and there are a lot of channels like do the night vision. I mean, I know Patrick does it too. I don't like to rely on going dark or going night vision because I don't think it helps search for ghosts. That's just my personal philosophy and my personal experience too, is that and I was talking to Shauna about this earlier when we were getting ready for the live, is that if a spirit claims to be hurt by or is impeded by lights that you have in this 3D space, I would be very, very wary of that. I'd be wary of that spirit because why would they be afraid or be hurt by the light? Especially since we always say, hey, are you stuck? Do you want to go to the light? Why would we even say that? Why would they be afraid to go to the light if they were positive unless they were stuck, of course, we'll help them out. But I mean, if it's a malevolent force who's afraid of the light, that makes more sense to me. So it's like I use lights because I want the art, I want the cameras to be able to see, and for you guys to see as well what's happening out in that space. And at the same time, it's like those evil spirits, if they don't like that light, that keeps them away from me and my team and keeps everybody safe in that regard. So I'm not going to just poke the bear, if you will, just to get evidence. That's not something that I do or ever will do. I'm going to want to communicate, of course, but I'm not going to be poking a bear that I don't know what it really is, especially if they're claiming to be hurt or impeded by a white light. That just seems silly to me. Let's see. Let me check the chat real quick. Chris says, totally makes sense, but I'm looking forward to your 360 investigations. It's something I've thought about for years. It keeps things authentic. Definitely. That's a good word for it, authentic. Yeah, I mean, it's just out in the open. Here we are. We're going to use devices that you're used to, like K2s and EMF meters and spirit boxes, things like that. All the things that you probably have seen in other channels. Of course, we're going to use those tools because they're useful, but I want you to be able to see 360 around you too and around us. And we've got some other things up our sleeve that were not showcased in the lives with Patrick. So those will be exclusive to our channel, but I think you'll enjoy those too. So there's going to be multiple 360 cameras in some of our shoots. Like if we go into a location, I don't just want one 360 camera. I'm going to have multiples, and it'll be for an episode. I'll be able to edit those 360 footages together. So you'll be able to move into one room to the next, all 360. And in some cases, I'll be embedding things within the 360 space so you can see close up to a device like a K2 or a tri-field meter or something like that, and see the readings on that in 2D space in the 360 environment. And for those of you who don't know, who haven't really watched yet, go watch the last three lives. You'll kind of get a feel of what the 360 kind of looks like. You can use your phone, you can use your desktop as well, but you can also use, if you have them or own them, VR glasses. Like it can be your Sony VR stuff or your Quest, your Oculus stuff going on, whatever VR glasses you've got, goggles, you can use that and be watching YouTube and watching those particular investigations. You can feel like you're right there in the middle of it. So just another thought. And I think down the road, we're going to be doing some pair-ups with Meta and Oculus about giveaways and stuff like that for that kind of gear. I'm working in that direction. So just little hint. But if you want to get more immersive into being there with us, that would be the best way to do it. If you've got any other questions too, if those of you are popping in late here, go ahead and just type your questions in regarding about paranormal and me, experiences with me. I'm going to share some other things as well. And there's probably one thing that you haven't seen. You see a lot of Ouija boards, but I do a lot of tarot. I mean, I did a couple tarot sessions, very short ones, during Patrick's live and during my live this past week, Halloween week. So I'm going to continue to do that. I find that it's not so much a communication tool. It is a charge up tool, meaning how the Tesla coil that Patrick has that charges up the room. The tarot cards do the same thing. They do it just on a different level. So we're using with the Tesla coil, it's actual, positive energy ions being shot into the room. Whereas the tarot cards is a conduit for connection from me to the spirit through the cards. And that's the way it just goes with any, live person too. When I'm doing a reading, do readings for business owners or otherwise. We do tarot. It's a connection between our two hearts. And that's kind of where we're wanting to go. It's all about those senses and the emotions between myself, the investigator, and those spirits who are on the other side who are wanting to either communicate or tell us something. And it's just a means to charge up the space. So hopefully that makes sense. So tarot, 360, and of course, we will utilize IR and night vision cameras, but not as a cutaway to. It will be embedded within. Like the one we did on the 4th at the bridge. I think I mentioned it, but you never really saw it because it's kind of in the dark. I had an IR night vision camera running the entire time. A standalone regular night vision camera standing in the dark over there shooting towards us the entire time we were there on the bridge. Now that's the kind of footage I would use to embed within the 360 footage, in time with what we're doing right then, to just kind of see what's happening in IR. And sometimes you'll catch stuff, sometimes you won't. But those are the types of little add-ons that we'll be able to do. Any other questions, guys, about me before I jump in and maybe pull some cards? Or maybe if you're interested, we can pull some tarot cards today and just kind of get a feel there. And I'll let you guys even choose between two decks that I've got pulled out here that kind of felt like these are the decks that I would like to use tonight, but you guys can help me decide which one we're going to use. Any specific locations you two have coming up soon? Yeah, I think right before you jumped in, Chris, we're going to Joshua Tree National Park on Saturday, right? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, this coming Saturday, and we're going to go out there. And I've had many experiences actually out in Joshua Tree. I've caught photographic evidence out there of it wasn't a person. It was a ghost. I'll call it a ghost owl. I'll show the picture. I'll actually post the picture on YouTube of that ghost owl because we're going back to that same table again. Gonna do some tarot, and I was doing tarot at the time. Dude, this was a couple of years ago. I caught this owl in the tree that you can see through it, the tree behind it. But something is obviously on that branch. It was like one of those wow pictures. It doesn't normally happen. So we're going to Joshua Tree, and then what was the other place we were talking about? Oh, well, yeah. Well, we did the Lent Mansion. This was the Lent Mansion was last year. We did that. We mentioned that we didn't really get much there in the sense of evidence, but we did do a whole investigation there. We filmed in 360. We filmed with IR. We filmed with a bunch of different things, and we had a bunch of tools going. Spirit box, spirit talker, tri-field meters, things like that. And we got some blips here and there, some evidence, but it wasn't like enough that I felt that I could edit into an episode. And it was okay because I just pushed it to the Halloween time so I could launch with Patrick. Let's see. Susan Loveway. Periphery, what happened the other night with the camera? Did it get turned off by the spirit? I noticed that when Patrick thought he saw a shadow by the light was around the same time it cut off. I don't know, but it seemed like it did. It's done that twice. It's done that at Papa's Ranch too. For that, it was like the first one was running for like 20 minutes, and then I was walking out to my car, didn't touch anything, and it shut off there, and it had nothing to do with the battery because I came back and the battery was 75%. So I don't know what that was, but I'm gonna bet that it was something like that because that was really odd. Everybody was rolling. He even had trouble with his internet over there. I don't know if you remember that, or I don't know if the signal dropped out all the way for him or not, but my camera dropped out, and then I had to restart the stream again. So I don't know if he had to do that as well. I'm not sure. I know he mentioned that internet was bad where he was, and that normally wasn't the case. I think because I saw two things. I saw that shadow fly by, but then I also saw something white, very light. I don't know if it's white, but it was very light colored, shooting between the trees when Patrick was under the bridge. And I thought it was him. And I think you guys heard that whole exchange, but that was really weird. And then, of course, when I saw that shadow, that's when everything kind of dropped out. So I don't know what happened. It was unexplained. Not sure, but hopefully we can explain that one of these days. Chris mentions, I absolutely love the desert. I'm originally from Phoenix, so maybe I'm biased. Yeah, maybe, but that's okay. You can be biased. Joshua Tree should be pretty awesome. I think so too, especially with I'm gonna be bringing the lights, obviously bringing the camera, but bringing the lights going to illuminate some of those actual Joshua trees and those cool rock formations. It's going to look pretty darn cool, just as a visual to look at, let alone looking for ghosty woasties. Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, I enjoy creating art. I mean, I'm an artist at heart. My background is, 25 plus years in media production, audio, video, radio, television. So I understand a few things about camera, about all of that type of thing and I like the art part of it. So that's what I want to bring back to the paranormal investigation is a little more art. And yes, let's get some evidence too. That's fun, but I'm not going out just to get evidence. I'm going out to have a good time too. And to be able to show some beautiful locations, whether they be indoors or outdoors, that people don't normally see, especially in the way that I'm going to show it to them. So that looks like fun for me. Susan says, I really didn't see it. I'll go back. Yeah, go check. I didn't, I think it was just my eyes. I don't know if I went back and looked at footage. The 360 did not catch either one of those shadows or whatever you want to call it. Didn't catch it on camera, but I know I saw both of them when it happened because I jetted over like really quickly, and Mark was standing next to me. So Mark, my assistant up there by the bridge, he was standing right next to me, and he felt it like in his body. He didn't see it though. I saw it with my eyes, and that was just overall weird. So there was something there. I'm not sure what. You're welcome. Hi there, Tanya. How you doing? Go ahead and we're just kind of talking right now, chit chatting, having a discussion regarding my philosophy about paranormal and about kind of the up and coming stuff that's coming down the pipe. And this is for those of you who are late coming in. This is Shauna back here. This is my partner in crime and my partner with Periphery Paranormal. We're going to be doing most of the investigations together, and when she's not able to be with me, I'll have surrogates. I'll have like Mark, that you saw at the bridge. Those of you who saw the bridge investigation with Patrick on Friday, Mark was out there. Mark Goddard, he's a fantastic photographer, and so he was available. He said, "Yeah, I'm all into that." So we went out together over the Sierra Nevadas to go meet up with Patrick at the Skinwalker Bridge. So that was fun. So if you've got questions, go ahead and fire them away. And also, if you have, I would love to know where you want us to go too, because I love to travel, and I know Shauna wants to do more traveling. Yes, she does. I love to travel, and I love to get out there, especially places I've never been, which is kind of hard to do in the U.S. because I've been a lot of places. I have done a lot of traveling, but I haven't done a lot of traveling with paranormal intents in mind. So I'm always open to those possibilities, even if they're super popular, like the Waverly Hills and all that stuff. I'm all into that, but I'm also into the ones we don't know about. We don't hear about a lot. Maybe it's something in your neighborhood that like, wow, this old school that's closed down is super haunted. Love for you to come out here with 360 and do that. That's great too. Let me know. I'm all ears and all eyes. Let's see. Let me catch up on the chat here. Okay. So Sarah, Susan, you looked at the 360, but you didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see it either. Let's see. So Tanya says, "Hi, Shauna." Yeah,
I'm getting popular. No.
You're getting popular. You're getting doesn't always come up on the camera. Lucky you. Yeah, it's true. Doesn't come up always on the camera. I mean, I guess if I had it up by my head, it may have, because where the camera was, I think I was kind of in front of it, and then there's that railing on the bridge too that it had a hard time seeing up and over. I think I only had one of the tripod selfie sticks with me, and it was the medium sized one, so it wasn't tall enough to go up and over the top of the railing. But I'm going to fix that. Don't you worry. All right. How did you get into the paranormal? Is Tanya's question. Oh, good question. Get into it. Let's see. It's, I guess, when I was young, like real young, I realized that I was clairsentient. Is probably, I think, is the term that we would use. Clairsentient, where I hear things. So I get talked to a lot. I get talked to a lot by dead people. And it's always something I suppressed for a long, long time until, I don't know, I was what, 35, I think. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to let this open up and just see where this goes. Didn't go to the paranormal right off the bat, but it was more like, oh, okay, this is real. This is something that can happen. And then when I had my health issues with my stroke and all that was kind of out of the blue, I was actually warned about it in a weird way, in a very weird way, that somebody I recognized, which is weird because I never met her in person, but my great, 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 great grandmother came to me and just said, "Are you ready?" And then I woke up. And I was like, out of a dead sleep, I woke up. But she said that to me, that one phrase. Woke me up. I didn't know what that meant. I thought, oh, yeah, sure, of course I'm ready. It was like 2 or 3 weeks later, that's when I had the stroke. And it was the weirdest thing that at the time, and I realized, oh, she was warning me that my life was about to change drastically. And are you ready? So there's been many times throughout my life, but the most predominant one was probably that that was about 4 years ago regarding this stroke nobody saw that coming. Hopefully that answered that question. That was a good one. That was a good question. Let's see. How's it hanging, Shauna?
It's hanging, Chris. And
what is hanging? Is there something I should know about? Chris says, I'm an artist too, so I can generally appreciate your desire to create something out of investigation. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm just coming with the energy of, what else is out there for us to explore, and not just explore to find spooky stuff, although I like that too. I like that a lot. But also just, sometimes the most mundane things looked at in a different perspective can change everything. Hence, Periphery Paranormal, looking at it in 360, changes everything. Just that alone, let alone lighting it up and making it look cool for you guys too. It changes the way you see something that you are so used to. You guys have seen Papa Ranch house several times, but we changed it because we did 360. And of course, the bridge, you saw all the posts that Patrick was doing. And the lights, I thought, we need lights out there. We need to make that look like Disneyland out there, but for spookiness. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me catch back up here. 360, yeah. Warned about it. Yeah, Tony, I was warned about it. It was amazing. And at the same time, every time I think about it, a little freaky too, going, Because in my mind, right afterward, I thought, of course I'm ready. I wasn't ready for that. Nobody was ready for that. None of my family, none of my people close to me were ready for that. Dan, of all people, having a stroke that lays him out, that he has to learn how to walk again. No, we weren't ready for that. I especially wasn't ready for that. But got through it. And, I don't know, I keep saying 82 to 85% back. What do you think?
I think you do really well.
So, of course, I still have physical issues, if you want to call them that. I don't have full use of my left arm. Like I can't grasp. I can grasp things with my left hand, but I can't open my hand really wide to go grab a cup or whatever else. I have to stick things in it. No worries. My arm though is strong. I use it all the time. My actual left arm, and I use it all the time. And I close my car door. I drive. I drive my car. I'm not inhibited. I'm only inhibited by, maybe a soreness in my left knee and things like that, but nothing to really worry about. I just had to make the decision. What's important to me? What are my priorities? And I make those. So this was a priority for me to go out and meet Patrick for the first time in the flesh. We've been connected for years, and then go do investigations with him. And so that's what I intended to do, and that's what we did. Stroke or no stroke, I'm going to go do that stuff because that's fun to me. Creating art, stroke or no stroke, I'm going to go do that. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it. Do you consider yourself a medium? From Tony as well. I would probably, honestly, I would consider myself a physical medium, not so much a psychic medium. So, like a physical medium, objects, environments, spaces like that, I get feelings from, senses from, and in those places, I get voices too that aren't recorded on any device, but I just hear them. So, in a way, yeah, that's the clairsentience in me. I would call myself more of a physical medium, not so much a psychic medium. If that makes sense. Hopefully that does. Yep, that's right. I'm trying to I try to use those abilities when I can, but I also don't try to force it. It's not like I go into an investigation and go, okay, everybody's gonna talk to me, because that's not always the case. My light shines very brightly. If some of those of you who are spiritual or understand where I'm coming from on that, go ahead and mention how you feel about that. But my light shines very brightly, and sometimes that's kind of scary to the wrong kinds of spirits, and that's good, and also kind of intimidating to even the nice spirits in that space, which I understand too. So I try to, be conscientious and calm about that. And when I'm charging up a room, sometimes I don't even need cards or anything else. I can charge up the room. And so could you, for you guys too. Patrick could charge up the room if he really wanted to, all by himself without using any kind of devices. And so I know this about myself, that I'm a big presence, not just physically, but also energetically. And so I take that into consideration when I enter a paranormal investigation, because that may be off-putting to some of the spirits, and I get that. I highly doubt that they're going to be off-put by my lights, though, as we talked about with IR. Let's see, Tanya asks again, let's see, do you hear voices when you are in a haunted location? I do, but doesn't mean I always will. So it's not like instant. It's not like you see on these television shows where a medium comes in and they're always dead on every time. That's not realistic. It's like you come in and you have senses. Maybe it's voices, maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's like with Mark, he feels a tingle down his spine. I don't feel the tingle down my spine. I usually feel it right in my throat. My throat tightens up, and I'll hear things like through my ears. I will hear them, or I think I hear them through my ears, or it's just in my mind. They're talking to me I don't telepathically. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. So it's not. I do, like in the Lent mention, I heard things, but nothing I could go, oh, you know what? So and so said such and such. Let's go investigate that. And I would never do that anyway, because that's not I can't corroborate that. I can't prove that happened. I can only go off of my senses and go, okay, maybe I'll suggest we go over there, but not because I heard something. I don't want to contrive the evidence. I want devices in this 3D space to be able to pick up on evidence if it's truly there, or if it's just something for me. Maybe it's just a message for me, or maybe it's just a message for Shauna or anybody else who's in that group. Maybe I didn't hear anything, but they did, or they saw something and I didn't. That's cool. I think those spirits are picky when they give messages, whether it's vocal messages or, noise messages or scratching or touching messages, whatever it is. They choose the people they want to connect with and who they're most comfortable with. So maybe it's not me. They merely go, I don't want to talk to that Dan guy. So hopefully that answered that question. Do I hear voices? What do you mean, Susan? Cut for editing also? You mean talking about like the full investigations? Like an edited investigation? If that's what you're talking about, I definitely concur. Yes, that's the point. Having a 35 to 45 minute episode, or maybe a little longer, depending on how well it's going, having it edited down so we are moving about a building without having to have the jerkiness of a camera and all that stuff. Yeah, of course. I plan to edit all that stuff down. Any other questions, my friends? It's okay if you don't. I know we're just kind of meeting each other. the first time I've been able to talk to you directly. I really appreciate you coming on here and being with me. That is so awesome, because you could be doing a whole bunch of other things on a Wednesday night, but you're here with me. So I really appreciate that. And as we get more and more views on videos and on our investigations, we'll be able to monetize as well, so we can actually create a fund to go do even bigger and better stuff. There's some 3D and 360 cameras out there that I drool over, that I don't have in my arsenal, that I want in my arsenal. Of course I do. And so we'll get to that point. But first things first, I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me a bit. And as you see us in investigations, you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from when it comes to paranormal investigations, what I feel, what Shauna feels, and why we film it the way we do. Let's see, and catch up on the chat here. It kind of blew in real fast. I like that. That's the only way it should be done. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just want to be true, authentic, as somebody put. Authentic. That's what it is. That's just me. I just want to be authentically me. I want to be an artist. I want to draw the spirits in that want to talk to me. And I have other people on my team and in my colleague sphere that if they don't talk to me, they'll talk to them. I'm okay with that. I don't have to be the center of attention all the time or any of the time. Chris says the history of the Lemp family is tragic and sad. Yeah, I've always wanted to investigate any historic place in St. Louis, mostly because I really dig Victorian houses. Yeah, it was a fantastic house. I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, a beautiful house, beautiful rooms. I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. We chose it right. We chose it in the middle of the week. I think, was it a Monday? Was it a Monday? It was a Tuesday. So we were out there on a Tuesday, and nobody else was there. I mean, they closed down and said, "Oh, you're the only ones here." And I'm like, great. And I wasn't really planning on. I didn't really know that was going to be the case. I knew there was a possibility, but we didn't really know because we only rented the one room. But because nobody else was there, we could go anywhere we wanted to, up and down the stairs, and check stuff out. Check out that piano, all that fun stuff. So I'd highly recommend, if you ever do to go to St. Louis, check out the Lemp Mansion. It's not that expensive to rent a room for the night. And you'll have a good stay, and you might actually catch some evidence that we didn't catch, because we didn't catch much in the sense of like visual evidence or things like that. We did get voices and a few things on our devices, but
Felt heavy presence.
Yeah. But nothing much that I could really put into an episode. So that's kind of why it is just archived footage, and I might bring it back. Maybe as the channel grows, the Lemp Mansion can come out and you can see some of our first stuff that we've done with 360 footage. Tony asks, what is your favorite device to use on investigation? Number one device or tool, I call them tools. I don't call them devices. I call them tools. Number one tool for me is my body, my own body. It's how I feel. Like how, not just my skin or that, the tingly feeling and all that, but how do I feel inside? How am I connecting as a conduit? Some people call it a channel. How am I connecting with spirits? And I'm first going to connect with my body. And then second, I'm going to be able to corroborate that feeling with a scientific device like a tri-field meter, an EMF meter, a K2, a spirit box. But the number one tool is right here, my body. And I would believe the same thing with Shauna. The number one tool for her is her body.
Yeah.
What is your favorite device? Okay. So, let's see. Sorry, it's so bad about half comment. Oh, no worries. I just wanted to make sure that I was catching your drift there. But yeah, I think we are on the same page there for sure. All right. So, like I said, if you came in late, which you may have, we're going to be in Joshua Tree on Saturday. It's not going to be a live. We may do a quick live before we start our own investigation, just to say hello and, show you about the surroundings, give you a little sneak peek. But it's going to be a full episode shot in 360 out there in Joshua Tree, all lit up kind of like the bridge, but with Joshua trees and cool rocks and desert landscape and all that fun stuff, and see if we catch anything, because I have caught visual evidence out there on numerous occasions, like 6 different occasions. That's when I've been out there, and they've all been in photograph or in video. So I'm hoping we're able to catch something good this time with the 360 camera, and maybe there's something that you guys will catch in the edit that I don't catch. So that'd be awesome too. I do like the lives because the lives do have the ability, like it's just raw. It's just raw. Here it is. Here's what's going on, and you might catch something that I don't, and then I have to go back and take a look at that if you do catch something. Although this one's going to be pre-recorded and I'll be sifting through footage, but we'll be shooting 360. We'll be shooting a couple IR cameras, be shooting with the GoPro as well, I think. And we'll have our devices out there too, our tools, our bodies, and of course our trifilmeters, EMFs, spirit box. We do the cat balls too. We like the motion cat balls. We actually get pretty good luck with those. At least I have, with the motion stuff, and it depends on the location. It really does, because some locations you got to determine too. A lot of paranormal investigators go into it like expecting it to be like poltergeist type investigation, and it's not always like that. It could be residual. Residual energy is not going to flick that cat ball. It's just not going to happen. You might hear the scratches, you might hear the voices, you might even hear the footsteps, and that could all be residual. And it could be not like, oh, they're right here with me right now. That may be true, but it may not be true too. So I always I'm a big debunker too. I want to debunk it first if I can. And if I can't debunk it, then I want to scientifically validate it again and again with other tools. All right. Anything else in the chat? Let's see. Doesn't look like it. So where else do you guys want to go? I think one of the places, I've been several times. I've been to Tennessee, but there are several haunted locations in Tennessee that I want to go to. And I think, well, Shauna will love the state, I think. You'll love the state of Tennessee. Green, very green. And I'm going to go out there and investigate in Tennessee. And I know lots of people in Tennessee as well, so that might be fun. But do you guys have a place near you? I mean, you tell me where you want the 360 action to go. That would be great. Let's see. Let's see. Tony asks, what do you think the spider web feeling is? Oh, the spider web feeling, I think that is it's like static. Like a static charge, like electricity, like zzz. Like if you took a balloon and you rubbed it on your shirt and then you put it up to your face, you feel the static charge on your skin. That's similar to the spiderweb feel of a paranormal investigator walking through. Go, ooh, spiderweb feel. That's what they're feeling, and that can only be done by something that can generate a static charge. So either they're doing a balloon right before, which I doubt. They're probably going through the energy of something, whether it's an entity or otherwise, but something there is causing a charge to happen, and they're feeling it with their number one tool, which is their body. That's how I took it. Chris says, I got to bounce for now. You're both good people. Thank you. I appreciate it, Chris. Stay tuned. I think it's on it is on the premiere list. It's the 13th of November, which is what, Sunday? I think it's, I think I made it the 13th. Hopefully we'll have all our footage right, and I'll be able to edit that up pretty quick. It'll be the 13th, where the episode for Joshua Tree drops, so you guys can check that out, a fully edited one, and give me your feedback and your comments on that. I would love to hear more about that and what else you want to see and where we want to go. Bye, Chris. Thanks so much for engaging and asking some great questions. Any other questions, my friends? I love doing paranormal investigations. I love doing this. I love using technology to go beyond the 3D space. What I mean by that is we live in a 3D space. Ghosts and spirits and entities, they're not in this 3D space, although they can cause change or they can affect this space, just like we can affect the other side. I truly believe it goes both ways. It's like, what they call it, a vortex or a portal or whatever else. We can get into a lot of conversation about that and what I believe about that, but maybe a different live we can do that. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, everybody's saying bye to Chris. Yep. So last thing I want to leave you guys with is that as we're building, the more you can watch our lives or our episodes, the better it can be, the better that we can get to the point where we can be monetized with YouTube. That just doesn't mean about getting money, but also we jump higher up in the hierarchy of the algorithm when it comes to YouTube, and that's important. So the more you watch and the more you share, the better it is for us. Hopefully you're liking this video right now. If you haven't liked it, can you please like this video just to get it up on the hierarchy of that algorithm so more people see it? I mean, you guys did great this last week. If you can just keep that consistency up, that'd be so awesome. I'm so thankful for those of you who are here and who are been doing that. And I've been seeing lots of extra watches happening. I don't know if it's from Patrick's people or not, but I think the word is starting to get out there. There's this channel that's doing 360 live as well as pre-recorded paranormal investigations, which is a little different. And they're using lights during the investigation, and they're using tarot cards, not Ouija boards and, the old wives' tale stuff that I don't like using because it's like, okay. Yeah, it could be dangerous, but also at the same time, I think it's kind of passe, and it's just it's like clickbait. I'm not a clickbait kind of guy. I'm the kind of guy that wants to just get out there, have fun, and if we catch some evidence, fantastic. We get to see it together, and we get to see it in 360. You got anything else you want to add, Shauna? No. Forget this lie. Sonia says, thank you, Dan. Looking forward to some investigations with you and your team. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we'll probably do a quick little live, probably like 10, 15 minutes on Saturday, right before we get into our main investigation. And we'll do it with a 360 live come the 12th. I'll put that up and get that all scheduled up on YouTube so you guys know when it comes. So you can come and join us for a few minutes before we jump into our full investigation. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll wish you all a good night. If those of you who are on the East Coast, it's really late. And I'll let you guys go. And those of you on the Pacific Coast, I know you're probably wanting to take a shower and go to bed. That's me. All right. Blessings to you all. Take care. We'll see you Saturday.